I think we need to reevaluate the amount of energy and effort and time that we are spending on one particular initiative.
All right, welcome to Hack to the Future with Kyle Roof. I am Kyle Roof, and today we have Seung Oh, who's the CEO of DataB. Welcome, Seung. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me. Or thanks for being here. You're the guest. I'm not the guest. Oh, good. So I know that growth hacking is a big part of your success. And I know that people have heard the term like growth hacking, but how would you define what is growth hacking?
I would say just trying out different methods that are being discussed, and some of them may work and some of them may not. So that's why you need to keep experimenting different methodologies and strategies. And ultimately, when you find the ones that work for you, then you'll start to grow. And I think that's the core of the growth hacking.
Can you give an example of something that is a growth hack?
Yeah. So I can think about different examples, but one thing that I can think of in especially marketing, a lot of people say talk about SEO, and um, that starts with the right set of keywords and right targets and stuff. So you just have to try different keywords and keywords in different markets and for different segments. Um, if you keep trying, then you may end up finding the right target and the right set of keywords that work for you, or you may not. Then you just have to move on to different hacks that people discuss.
Okay, okay. When you say people discuss, like where, if somebody wants to start learning about finding these growth hacks, like where do you hear about them, or who's talking about these things?
Uh, Actually, I go to YouTube and LinkedIn, and I just search Google and type growth hacks, and I quickly get a lot of results. And actually, that's good and bad because there are tons of different articles that talk about growth hacking. So I just have to pick and choose the ones that matter and that sound reasonable. That since
Hmm.
there are so many articles to choose from, it is not about that the information isn't there. It's just more about finding the right information.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, if somebody is an obvious liar, they're talking about growth hacking, but they don't know what they're doing. Is there something that you've heard that like, oh yeah, that's just not that's not good or that's not true. Like, do you have like some sort of like filter or a measurement like where you can say if something's BS or not?
It is actually really hard, and yeah, I think it's more of a that people, most of them have good intention. Well, some of them try to just blot things over, and like they try to just sell stuff. But
Hmm.
I would say most of them have good intention to help other people. But it's just the nature of growth hacks that things do not always work, and do not some things do not make sense at all, but I would say most of them sound reasonable enough, so that's why I kind of ended up trying many of them and failed eventually on many of them as well. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think some of them look definitely BS, but
Okay.
yeah, I would say everybody has good intention.
I do like it though. If somebody's immediately selling you something,
Mhm.
then you should be a
Oh
little,
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
a little skeptical.
Mhm.
Through the growth hacking and the tests that you've done with growth hacking, do you have like a lesson learned or a biggest lesson learned that you can share?
Yeah, one thing that I learned from my past experience is not to put too much time and energy on one thing. For
Mm.
example, so we tried SEO with different methodologies for like over 3 months, and I think I should have stopped or at least reduce the amount of investment that I've been putting in that particular area at some point, um, because things not always work, and SEO hasn't been a great source of traffic for us, at least for our main webpage Ngram.
I think that's pretty interesting.
Mhm.
SEO is generally considered a long-term play. But if you're
Right.
looking for a growth hack, that's a short term. We're trying to do this in the shortest amount of time possible. So would you say, like in that 3 months or so, if you're running, say, a test to see if a growth hack will work, do you think maybe 3 months or less is about the time frame that you would do something before you move on, or maybe even less?
Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily say that you need to make a decision and move on to a different thing completely. Um, I think we need to reevaluate the amount of energy and effort and time that we are spending on one particular initiative. And like, I'm not saying that we have to. I didn't mean to stop SEO effort at all, but I should have adjusted our resources a little bit to be more efficient in our overall marketing strategy.
Do you see like
Mhm.
where your crystal ball, where is the future of growth hacking going? Do you think there might be growth hacks on maybe other social media platforms like TikTok, or maybe waiting for like the next platform to come out? Would you jump on that? Where does the future of growth hacking go?
Uh, Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether this is talking about the future, but micro influencers
Hmm.
mm, have been pretty promising so far for us, and I believe um, this way of marketing will be promising for the at least next few years, because social media is everywhere and short forms are everywhere, and there are tons of creators that just start to become influencers one day. So we
Hmm.
can leverage them to market our product. Given that social media is getting bigger every day, um, there will be a lot of niches that we can target for. So in that way, I believe this micro influencer marketing will still be very promising over the next few years. Like, based on my experience working on different marketing strategies, I believe micro influencer is the most promising marketing initiative that I've been experiencing. Actually, that's one of the biggest marketing issues or marketing kind of discussions that I've been reading these days.
I love that. And I want to talk more about micro influencers, but I have a very important question.
Mhm,
Uh, Now we play the game, which is better?
mhm.
In Korean food, which is better? Dweji galbi or dak galbi?
Oh, of course, 돼지갈비.
My
You
notes here, incorrect. The correct answer was dak galbi.
Why?
I love dak galbi.
You know what? I'm from a small rural city in Gangwon province, which is,
I lived in Gangwon-do for 5 years.
oh, interesting. Actually, 닭갈비 is originated from that area.
I know.
And
I lived in Honcheon.
oh, actually, I lived in Chuncheon, which is
Yes.
that
And
city.
people from Honchan say that Chunchan stole that galbi from them.
That could be possible, but I ate a lot of that growing up, so that's why I don't like the more of it. I
That's
had,
good.
yeah.
For those who don't know, dak galbi is a dish where it's cooked in front of you. It's a chicken dish, and it has cabbage and maybe a few other things like onion or carrot and a red sauce that it's cooked in front of you.
And
Absolutely
soup.
delicious. And so yeah, and maybe the little the rice sticks, the tteokbokki.
Mhm.
But then the trick is though, you have to leave a little towards the end. Don't eat it all, because then they'll bring out rice, and then they'll do the fried rice and mix it in, and it's absolutely delicious. It's kind of like a dessert rice. Oh, that's excellent.
Mhm,
Okay, so micro, I guess more importantly,
mhm.
micro influencers. Um, how do you define a micro influencer? Like, when does somebody? I know that's probably like grains of sand kind of argument, but who is a micro influencer versus like an influencer? Like, what are you looking for in terms of like maybe a following or the reach, or what are you looking for to say like this is a micro influencer and also somebody that we might want to do business with?
Okay, in general, people have different definitions of micro influencers, and that usually that definition is usually according to the number of followers that particular influencer has. So I believe it's like if the number of followers is below 100K, then people define it as micro influencer,
Hmm.
but it depends on different people. Um, but in general, actually, my definition is somewhat similar, but I would say micro influencers are the ones that I can work with less than $1,000.
Oh, I like that definition. Okay, sure.
So
They're at the point where $1,000 sounds
right.
reasonable. I gotcha. Yeah.
The reason we are working with micro influencers is because they do not ask for a huge price like macro influencers do.
Hmm.
But still, even though they do not have a large number of audience, and if even if their content doesn't get a lot of views, they may still ask for like $5,000, and that those things happen to us. So we ended up not working with those influencers that ask too much. So I would actually and the reason we are working with micro influencers is to save cost and maximize our ROI. In that
Hmm.
case, if you end up paying for like $3,000, then it's really hard to justify ROI unless some of the content goes like huge, like millions, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I stick to my definition that if we can work with less than $1,000, I think I would consider that person as a micro influencer.
Are you concerned about platform when you're working with a micro influencer? Would you lean towards YouTube, people that have a YouTube channel, or are you looking towards other platforms as well?
Um, so there are three major platforms that deal with short forms, which are getting more and more popular these days. So YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So those are the three platforms we generally see that influencers work on. And I heard that the audience, the general user demographic for TikTok is somewhat lower, 10 to 20, and people who use Instagram are like much older, like 20 to 30, 40, and YouTube similar. So we tend to stick with Instagram and YouTube. And
Okay.
but sometimes influencers ask us if we want to upload the same video on TikTok as well. So if that doesn't cost a lot, then we just agree on that.
Okay. So you
Mhm.
do like taking, say, the same content if they'll post it on multiple things. You like that?
Yeah, yeah, we
Okay.
do that.
At the beginning, I mentioned so you're the CEO of DataB. For
Mhm.
those that aren't familiar, can you tell us what your company does?
For sure. DataB is a company behind a service called Ngram. Ngram is an AI writing tool with all the best parts of ChatGPT, Grammarly, and Quillbot combined. And
Okay.
it is optimized for non-native English speakers. By the way, is it okay for me to kind of say those brands out loud? Is it okay? Or
Yeah, fire away.
okay.
They're not sponsoring us, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I mean we can say that. Well, they may disagree with us, but it's okay. I mean, we are
That's fine.
we are
That's
underdogs, so we need to be. a bit more aggressive.
The 20 people listening to this podcast won't care.
Yeah. So you can proofread, paraphrase, and translate your way to native level English,
Hmm,
native level writing if you are a non-native English speakers. So we are specifically targeting non-native English speakers with our service Ngram.
gotcha. Okay. So then going to the micro influencers, would you be looking for, um, say, someone in South Korea that was working with, say, the Korean market, that maybe people that wanted to move into other markets? Is that something like would be a use case for a micro influencer?
Similar but a little bit different. So there
Okay.
there is some context behind this. So Ngram, I came up with this idea because I used to work for Amazon in the United States in Seattle. So at that time, I had to write a lot of documents, but my English wasn't at the native level. So that's why I thought that, oh, this kind of tool might help people like me. So actually, we found a micro influencer that has a similar persona. So the person we worked with recently that got pretty big views, pretty big number of views. She works for an American company
Hmm.
in the United States, but she is from Korea, so she's not a native English speaker. And her vlogs are about her everyday life, working for American companies and just um, doing things in the United States. And her target audience is um, is includes people who want to go to the United States and work for an American company, or want to learn English, learn business English especially, so that they can actually work with American clients and stuff. So that's why she kind of understood our product um, perfectly and could create content that explains a lot of advantages of using Ngram.
Love that.
So, mhm,
One final question on that. When you're working with them, do you like give an incentive, kind of like a coupon code or a discount
mhm.
code, kind of to track performance, and then also to kind of give a benefit to the influencer? Is that something that is involved in this?
Actually, promo code is so we give out promo codes to those influencers, and those influencers can actually say out loud those promo codes so that their audience can use it. But promo codes are actually for us. The purpose of giving out promo code is not to track the performance of those micro influencers. It's more about us getting new customers, and
Hmm.
they and a lot some proportion of those new customers will end up paying for our premium membership. So it'll help us increase our revenue. I I get a lot of advice around how to track the performance of individual influencers using promo code or pay by the number of views and stuff. So far, what we've seen is that actually the biggest motivation for those micro influencers um, is the number of views they get.
Okay.
So, I mean, one of the influencers actually sent me an email saying thank you for this collaboration
Hmm.
because she accrued 1,500 new followers by like making the collaboration content live. So actually, she wanted to. Well, those are micro influencers. One day, they aspire to become macro influencers. So
Yeah.
they want to get more views and more followers and more subscribers. So the biggest motivation for them is to grow.
Hmm.
And if the content that we work with um, can actually help them grow, that's the biggest motivation that they can get as micro influencers.
Love that. Sung, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Just go to Google and type ngram.us,
Okay.
then you can find us. And actually, I'm the CEO, so you can. And I actually read all the customer emails. So if you want to reach out to me, just send an email using the address at the bottom of the page. Then you can directly talk to me.
Awesome. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much for being here. This was fantastic information. I absolutely loved it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Great.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks everyone for listening to Hack to the Future, and we will talk to you next time. Take care.